Planet 9. Is the search for this elusive world nearly over? Astronomers have been scouring the outer solar system for signs of a hypothetical ninth planet for almost a decade without success. However, we may finally be on the cusp of finding it, experts say. Deep in the outer reaches of the solar system, so far away from the known planets that the Sun could barely be distinguishable from a nearby star, a massive icy world may be lurking in the shadows waiting to be discovered by humanity. And the day that we finally find this elusive planet may be coming soon, thanks to a state-of-the-art telescope that will begin scanning the sky next year. The solar system has 8 official planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But in recent years, astronomers have proposed that a ninth world, imaginatively nicknamed Planet 9, could be hiding in the far reaches of our cosmic neighborhood. And now we're not talking about Pluto, which was demoted from full planetary status to dwarf planet in 2006. Instead, scientists believe Planet 9 is a gas or ice giant billions of miles farther out than the rest of the planets, and if it exists, it could also rewrite our understanding of the solar system's origins and evolution. Astronomers have predicted how big this hypothetical world could be, how far away it could lie, and even where it should be in its orbit around the Sun. Yet actually finding Planet 9, sometimes called Planet X, has eluded scientists for nearly a decade. But the hunt for the solar system's potential ninth planet may soon be coming to a close. With the opening of the groundbreaking Vera C. Rubin Observatory in 2025, we may either finally find Planet 9 within the next few years, or rule out the idea for good, experts told Life Science. It's really difficult to explain the solar system without Planet 9. Mike Brown, astronomer at Caltech, who proposed the Planet 9 hypothesis along with a colleague, said, but there is no way to be 100% sure it exists until you actually see it. The idea of a ninth planet in the solar system was first seeded by the discoverer of Uranus in 1781 and Neptune in 1846, more than 3,000 years after the other planets were first spotted by the Babylonians. These discoveries proved that the solar system was much larger than humanity had once thought, and raised the possibility that other worlds were waiting to be discovered. But other than the now demoted Pluto, no full-fledged planets beyond Neptune or the Kuiper Belt, a massive ring of asteroids, comets, and dwarf planets that orbit the Sun beyond Neptune, have shown up since. And as astronomers mapped more of the outer solar system, it seemed increasingly unlikely that they were missing something as large as a planet. However, in 2004, discovery changed. The scientists found that Sedna, a potential dwarf planet located beyond the Kuiper Belt, had a weird orbit around the Sun. Its unusual trajectory hinted that another large mass in the outer solar system was gravitationally pulling on the mini-world, but without more information, this hypothesis was hard to prove. Then, in 2014, astronomers announced that they had detected a smaller object in the Kuiper Belt, named 2012 VP113, with an eccentric orbit similar to Sedna's. The findings also hinted that more eccentric trans-Neptunian objects, TNOs for short, were waiting to be found. These findings caught the attention of Brown and fellow Caltech astronomer Konstantin Batygin, who noticed that both Sedna and 2012 VP113 had the same kink in their orbits, and this shared irregularity, which causes the objects to briefly dip below the known plane of orbit, suggested that something such as an asteroid clump, a dwarf planet, or even a full-fledged world was tugging on these objects. At the beginning, we did not say there was a planet because we thought that was a ridiculous thing for there to be, Brown, who also co-discovered Sedna and was instrumental in Pluto's planetary demotion, said, but we tried a lot of different things to explain what we were seeing, and nothing else worked, he said. Even after the pair realized a ninth planet was possible, They decided to sit on their findings until they could come up with another less controversial explanation. However, they then found 4 more TNOs with matching misshaped orbits, which suddenly made a missing planet look like the most logical explanation. At the time, the duo calculated that there was just a 2% chance that all 6 TNOs they had studied shared their orbital oddities thanks to random chance. And as soon as you see that, you're like, oh crap, there's a planet there, Brown said. So in 2016, Brown and Badigan published their Planet 9 hypothesis, which has captured the public's imagination ever since then. And filling in the gaps, since 2016, Brown, Badigan, and others have continued to hunt for Planet 9, Planet X, or they have not, although they have not found it yet, they have discovered even more eccentric TNOs, bringing the total to 13 and further strengthening the case for Planet 9 because they all had kinked orbits. These discoveries also constrain Planet 9's potential size, its distance from the Sun, and its orbital trajectory throughout the solar system. Our best estimates are that it's about 7 times more massive than our Earth, or anywhere between 5 and 10 times the mass of our planet, Brown said. This would make it the 5th most massive planet in the solar system, behind Jupiter and Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, he said. Planet 9's composition is probably most like Neptune, due to its distance from the Sun, Brown said. That would put its diameter at something like 2 times the width of our Earth, he said. Some scientists have also suggested Planet 9 could be surrounded by moons, just as the hefty gas giants are. Now, if it exists, Planet 9 is likely around 500 astronomical units away from the Sun on average, meaning it's 500 times further away from the Sun than our Earth is. This may sound distant, but similarly sized exoplanets have been discovered orbiting alien stars at equally massive distances, showing that this is possible. This far out, it could take between 5,000 and 10,000 years for Planet 9 to complete a single trip around the Sun. Its orbit is probably highly elliptical, so its distance from the Sun would vary widely over time. It also is likely does not orbit on the same plane as the rest of the planets, which makes it even trickier to find. Planet 9's unusual orbit and extreme distance from the Sun also raise the possibility that it could be a rogue planet, an interstellar world that was captured by the Sun after being ejected from its star system. However, Brown and Badigan believe Planet 9 likely formed alongside other planets in the solar system. Is it really out there? Many astronomers are cautiously optimistic about Planet 9's existence. It is quite likely that Planet 9 exists, Alessandro Morbidelli, astronomer at Côte d'Azur Observatory in France, said. There are several indirect lines of evidence in favor of its existence, he said, who reviewed Brown and Badigan's 2016 paper before it was published. David Rabinowitz, astrophysicist at Yale, agreed that something is likely out there, and Planet 9 is the best explanation so far. The discoveries of additional eccentric TNOs since Planet 9 was first proposed have maintained confidence in this theory, he said. But not everyone is convinced that Planet 9 is real. It's been a roller coaster. I've gone from thinking it's about 90% there to 10% and all around. Sean Raymond, researcher at the Bordeaux Astrophysics Laboratory in France, said, I'm rooting for it to be there, but I'm still agnostic and on whether I believe it's there. I guess they want the proof, obviously. Doubts about Planet 9, what we would call Planet X, are rooted in the alternative potential explanations for the strange behavior seen among TNOs. For instance, the gravitational anomalies Brown and Badigan flagged might be caused by a baby black hole, an invisible giant disk of dust, or a historic close encounter with a rogue planet. Alternatively, the TNOs may be evidence that our model of gravity needs to be tweaked. Others believe the apparent TNO kinks are simply an observational bias because it's easier to spot TNOs that are close to Earth than more distant ones. Samantha Lawler, astronomer at University of Regina, Canada, prominent critic of the Planet 9 hypothesis, said. And she said, I believe that there's a lot of really interesting bodies left to discover out in the solar system. But Brown and Badigan discount the notion that observational bias is creating the illusion of a ninth planet. Brown said, I am as confident as you can possibly be that Planet 9 exists until you actually find it. Why haven't we found it yet? So if Planet 9 does exist, why have not we spotted it yet? The short answer is that the hidden planet is very, very far away. Brown said light reflected off the planet would be very dim by the time it traveled across most of the solar system twice, which makes it all but impossible to see. Initially, the researchers also had no idea where the planet was along its predicted orbital path. That means they've had to study a huge region of the sky to look for this faint body, akin to trying to find a single white whale in an ocean, Brown said. So far, researchers have analyzed thousands of images from multiple key surveys along Planet 9's proposed orbital pathway, looking for objects that move over time, Brown said. Unfortunately, the night sky is teeming with bright moving objects such as comets, so the researchers have to sort things through a lot of garbage to find the planet. In their most recent work, Brown and Badigan analyzed data from Panoramic Survey Telescope, the PAN-STARRS, at Haleakala Observatory in Hawaii, and confidently ruled out about 78% of the suspected orbital pathway as possible hiding places for the planet. This narrows down Planet 9's location to somewhere in the most distant 22% of its orbital pathway. Unfortunately, telescopes like PAN-STARRS are not powerful enough to properly search this space. When will we find it? If Planet 9 is hiding in the most distant reaches of its orbit, we'll need a telescope powerful enough to spot it. Brown and Badigan have already been analyzing data from Japan's Super Telescope in Hawaii, which has a better chance of finding the planet than PAN-STARRS does. But if this survey fails to complete the job, they will turn to the forthcoming Vera Rubin Observatory, which is currently under construction in Chile, which is going to be on next year. The observatory is currently slated to open in late 2025. Now, why does Planet 9 matter? Although scientists remain divided over Planet 9's existence, one thing they all agree on is that actually finding the elusive world would likely be the biggest solar system discovery of the century. It would be a remarkable find, and it would also be huge for our understanding of the solar system's origins and evolution. Observing the planet could also teach us more about the formation and evolution of giant planets, more Belli said, and this would not only help us learn more about planets in the solar system, but also shed light on thousands of giant exoplanets around distant stars. If space agencies like NASA send probes to fly close to the planet, they could also reveal more clues about the solar system's past. They'll have many secrets that will be unlocked. It'll have many secrets to be unlocked by studying it in detail, Brown said. This is by Harry Baker on Live Science. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.